By the way, the ancient Persians followed in their footsteps and also created the festival of Nowruz in the 20th days of March to celebrate the beginning of spring. But it is not certain that the Babylonians were the first to celebrate it. The ancient Egyptians, for example, began their year with the traditional flooding of the Nile. This coincided with the rising of the brightest star in the sky, besides the sun at Sirius. One can understand the Egyptians, since their lives depended on the flooding of the Nile. Droughts simply killed entire generations, and the sacredness of the new year had not only a mythical but also a practical meaning. So the scale of the celebration when the Nile began to flood is hard to overestimate. People drank its water, considering it miraculous, visited friends, and celebrated throughout the country. Egyptians gathered by the river and enjoyed watching how the water covered their lands. Of course, at the same time, animal sacrifices were made, and people filled their stomachs to the brim. The Chinese, from ancient times, celebrated the second new moon after the winter solstice, as they still do today. No one knows exactly when this began, but it is known that they, like the Babylonians, associated the new year with the arrival of spring and relied on astronomical data. Even today, there is a strict link to the phases of the moon, and the day the holiday begins differs from year to year. The Chinese have a huge number of rituals, but for centuries they end celebrating the new year when the first full moon occurs after the new moon, that is, roughly plus or minus 15 days. This is symbolized by the Epic Lantern Festival, and even globalization does not interfere with such a unique new year, because they confidently celebrate it first with Europe and then independently. The ancient Greeks, as was typical for them, treated the holiday democratically. The only thing most residents agreed upon was the calendar. It was counted from the first Olympic Games.